You know, it's no secret, I'm sure, to many of our viewers, my kindergarten teacher was so significant in my early childhood. And, you know, it's only in recent years that I've put together why I would plow through snowdrifts on snow days in my galoshes to get to Miss Bailey's kindergarten class. Because it was safe, it was consistent, and it was loving. And, you know, children need that.
Yeah, they do.
And you're going to be providing it in even greater ways than you are now. Would it be safe to say that this is your spiritual father that we're inviting to join us
Big
here?
time.
Pastor Bill Wilson, get up here. Looking so dapper.
Oh, boy.
What a treat.
Nice to be back.
You're just
nice
like
to
Santa.
Be back.
You come every Christmas, don't
well,
you?
you know, yeah, it's just, didn't bring my bag of goodies today.
but you're going to be giving bags of
we are.
goodies.
We are.
What's the big project?
Well, for the last 16 years, as you know, and so many of the folks that have been on the Hundley Street audience for all these years, we have what we call Operation Holiday Hope. And Marlene knows because she works still on bus 12.
Yes.
Is that your bus?
Bus number 12, absolutely.
It is your bus.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. And she's still riding the same bus and working with those kids that she got on
At age
when she
6.
was 6 years old. So.
That's precious.
But
boy.
she's my partner and some of the other girls that work with us on the team. But every one of the kids that comes to Sunday school, Christmas week, at all of our Sunday schools, will get a gift.
Now, how many children are we talking?
Well, last year we had over 106,000 kids in Sunday school Christmas week. It was another world record. And so when you're getting 106,000 gifts, whether it's in New York or the kids that go to Metro in the Philippines or kids that go to Metro in Kenya, it's a lot. And we get gifts that are going to help them. Like in New York, it would be more of a typical North American gift. We have people there right now wrapping gifts in the basement of the church because the gifts are made possible by people all over the world. It used to be just the U.S. Then we had so many Canadians that have got on board. That's why we ended up having an office in Saskatoon, because we had so many Canadians said, we want to be a part of Metro and the whole Holiday Hope. But now it's all across Europe. We have Europeans that have stepped in. I mean, our second largest supporting country outside of the U.S. is Switzerland. I mean, who knew?
Well,
but they love it
and
because
just to
they
be
want to help.
clear, this Metro Ministries has become a template. It's been duplicated, repeated all over the world.
All over the world, yes, ma'am. And that's the Holiday Hope Project is our biggest evangelistic outreach of the year. I mean, her and I have 100 kids on our 65-passenger bus every week. Well, the police know us. They just, the cops, hey, there they go. There's Pastor Bill, there they are. And, but on that day, we have to have 2 buses. Because, as you would imagine, and the folks know, most of the kids we deal with, the gifts that they get from the Sunday school when they come that day, that's their Christmas. That's their Christmas. We had a couple of kids there on Jefferson Street, and they had, I mean, literally nothing. They got sick. I told them, look, I'll bring you the gifts, because they were crying. This Pastor Bill, the mother wouldn't let them go because they had the flu. She came back that night, and they had a branch in the kitchen with one light bulb hanging on an extension cord hanging on the branch. That was the tree. And I brought in the gifts. We put them under the branch. She knows that was their Christmas.
Home visits, unbelievable.
It's the key.
It's
the key.
Part of what you do.
It really is the key. The Sunday school is great, but that's the icing on the cake. It's the visitation. And she knows, I mean, it was me coming to her house week after week, week after week, year after year. I mean, am I right?
Yeah.
That's the connection. Yeah. And that's
you know
why
what
that's
touched
critical.
me, Bill, is, Marlene, your own testimony. You say that with that very first visit as a 6-year-old, your heart heard what it needed to hear. What was that?
That everything was going to be okay.
There is a God in heaven. He knows all about you. And Jesus loves you.
People have to understand that you can become Jesus with skin on. It's an old adage, but I think that Metro is such an example of that, simply because when you are a kid growing up in those areas, and like she said earlier, it's constant fighting, bickering, all kinds of things that we couldn't even talk about here on the program. I know because I came from that same background, you know. And so she knows that I understand. And who better now? Who better now than her to go back to these same kids on the streets, on the block, because she gets it. She knows what they're going through. She knows what they deal with every day because that's what she's dealt with. I get it because that's what I had to grow up with. But when that man stopped and picked me up off the street, and he asked me, he said, "Are you okay?" That was it. Now, I'm the pastor of the largest Sunday school in the world because one very ordinary Christian, ordinary, whose own son was in the hospital, dying of leukemia. So he had every reason not to stop, but he still stopped out of his own need, out of his own struggles. He still stops. "Are you okay?" And I used to stutter really bad when I was little. And I tried to tell him, my mother was gone, I haven't eaten. And immediately, he got his wife, she brought me some food. He got on the phone. 5 hours later, I'm in a church van on my way to a camp where I heard the story of Jesus.
You know, the portraits today are Cheryl Nemhard, you know, with her artistic gift and reaching out to people out of a background of drugs and self-destruction.
Yeah,
I would think sexual abuse was implied there. Just a disaster.
Yeah.
And look at all of you have nightmare beginnings.
Yes.
And now you're changing your world. Like Santa and his head elf on bus number 12.
But it took one person to put it into motion.
Yes.
And that's the thing I want all the folks watching to get. Because I think so often in our circle of folks, it all seems like, well, it's all about the platform ministry. It's the people that are on the platform. Not even close. It's about ordinary people. Ordinary people that choose to do extraordinary things through the power of God, like the man that put it in motion in my life. And so basically what I do every week,
you become the man for
I am
someone
that person,
else, like Marlin
and
Nieves.
introduced her, and now she's taken the baton, and now she's running.
It's beautiful. It's what God does.
It's the way it should be.
OperationHolidayHope.org. Isn't there on the screen? Yes, it is. Look at that. Speak and it becomes.
Yep.
OperationHolidayHope.org if you want to be a part of what is happening through this marvelous ministry. You know, I read this, Albert Einstein said, there are two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Yeah. I think if I tuned in just at the beginning of this hour as a skeptic, I'd already be convinced. God's in the miracle business.
You betcha.
God bless you too, and bus number 12.
Bus
and
12.
All the other buses, and
it.
all those children. How many? We don't know.
50,000 a week now.
50,000 a week
Sunday schools,
and many more this Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be a big Christmas, and we need the folks to help. Together, that's the power of partnership. That's what makes it work. And even me having a chance to be here with Marlene on this program, that's what gets people knowing what we're doing. Thank you.
God
Thanks for allowing us to be here.
everyone.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be back.